The zip of a suitcase cutting through the silent 5 a.m. air startled Chloe awake. The spot beside her was already empty, and the sound of rustling from the living room grated on her nerves. Lying in bed, Chloe stared at the ceiling, holding her breath. It was the third time. The third time her husband, Ethan Parker, had packed a bag to leave without any warning. "Chloe, you're up?" Ethan asked, peeking his head through the bedroom door. Instead of answering, Chloe slowly sat up. Ethan was hurriedly tying his necktie, his movements so cheerful he didn't look like someone leaving for work. "When was this business trip decided? You didn't say anything last night." At Chloe's low voice, Ethan feigned surprise and began to rattle off an excuse. Don't even ask. I got a call late last night. It was a last-minute thing from corporate. What can I do when they say jump? I'm sorry. I was so out of it, I forgot to tell you." Chloe just watched his blatant lie. She hadn't been fooled once, let alone twice. Ethan avoided her gaze and grabbed his bag. "How long will you be gone?" "It'll be a bit long this time. About a month. Or maybe longer if things get extended. I'll call you when I know more." Ethan's answer, as always, was frustratingly vague. He never mentioned his destination or the name of his hotel. Chloe bit her lip. Just then, Ethan paused and turned back to her. "Oh, by the way, Chloe, where do we keep our important household documents? I want to check on something just in case." A cold dread washed over Chloe. Ethan had never once shown interest in their paperwork. "The documents? Why do you need them all of a sudden?" "No, it's just, since I'll be gone for a while, I thought I should know where they are in case you need me to find something for an emergency. Just tell me where they are." "It's the second drawer of the bookshelf in the study. But you'll have no reason to look for them," Chloe said, her voice calm but firm. "You know there's nothing in this house that's in your name, right? It's all in my name, so there's nothing for you to touch." Ethan faltered for a moment, then forced a smile and nodded. "Right? Got it. Well, I should get going. I'll be late." His back looked impossibly light as he headed for the door. Chloe slowly followed him. As he put on his shoes, Ethan added, as if granting her a great favor, "It might be hard to reach me during the trip. The time difference is a killer, and the meetings are packed. If there's an emergency, call my mom instead of me. Got it?" Without a backward glance, he closed the door and left. With the click of the lock, an immediate silence fell over the house. Alone in the living room, Chloe muttered to herself, "Here we go again. You'd think he'd get tired of it." She sat on the sofa, turned on her phone, and pulled up the text message about his business trip. The pattern was chillingly identical to the messages he'd sent just before she caught him cheating 3 years ago and again 1 year ago. Not a single airport photo, not one screenshot of a plane ticket. Chloe saw right through the flimsy lie. Exactly 3 hours later, as expected, her phone vibrated. The name on the screen was Sharon, her mother-in-law. "Chloe, I'm on my way to your place now. You're home, right?" Sharon's voice, skipping any greeting, was buzzing with excitement. Chloe held the phone slightly away from her ear and let out a deep sigh. "Sharon? So, suddenly this morning? Is something wrong?" "Something wrong? Does a mother-in-law need a reason to visit her son's house?" "I'm in a taxi now. I'll be there in an hour. Have the door open." Sharon hung up without waiting for a reply. Her mother-in-law, showing up just 3 hours after her husband leaves. This wasn't a coincidence. It was a thoroughly calculated operation. An hour later, the doorbell rang loudly. As soon as Chloe opened the door, Sharon barged in, carrying a large tote bag and a suitcase. "Phew, why is it so hot? Chloe, crank up the AC. I'm dying." Without so much as a hello, Sharon settled onto the sofa like she owned the place. Chloe calmly asked, "Why are your bags so big? Are you going on a trip?" "A trip? What trip?" "I heard Ethan went on a business trip. I packed some things to stay with you for a few days so you wouldn't be scared or lonely." "Good idea, right?" Sharon tossed her bag onto the sofa as if it were a matter of course. Chloe's stomach churned with anger, but she bit her tongue, went to the kitchen, and brought back a glass of water. "Here's some water, Sharon. But what about Jessica? I thought she was busy with her business." "Jessica's so busy these days she can't see straight. She told me to call her sister-in-law often and take good care of you. You have no idea what a heart of gold that girl has." Sharon gulped down the water, then began to reveal her true colors. She stared at Chloe and lowered her voice. "By the way, Chloe, have you heard about Jessica's business? Things are a little tight for her financially right now. No, not at all. Is something wrong? As Chloe feigned ignorance, Sharon jumped at the opportunity. Well, an investor suddenly pulled their money, and now the poor girl is about to lose everything. We're family. We can't just pretend we don't know, can we? So, what do you expect me to do? At Chloe's direct question, Sharon slapped her knee, as if to say, finally, it's nothing big. Jessica just needs to take out a small loan, and she needs you to co-sign for her. It's not even a lot of money, around $25,000. Since you have so many assets in your name, the bank will approve it in a heartbeat if you just say okay. Chloe almost scoffed in disbelief. Her husband was off having an affair abroad, and his mother was here pressuring her to use her assets to fund her daughter's business. No, Sharon. I can't do that. I will absolutely not co-sign that loan. At Chloe's firm refusal, Sharon's eyes widened in fury. What? What did you just say? You won't co-sign? Your sister-in-law is about to go under, and that's what a sister-in-law says. Of course, I can't. Why should I put my credit on the line for Jessica's debt? I have my own future to think about. She's not a stranger. She's family. Isn't it our duty to help each other? Are you looking down on your mother-in-law just because Ethan isn't here? Sharon slammed her hand on the sofa and yelled. But Chloe didn't even flinch, staring right back at her. Sharon, I've worked in corporate finance for 15 years. Jessica's business plan. I saw it a while ago, and it was already showing signs of failure. Pouring money into a failing business isn't helping. It's financial suicide for both of us. What do you know? Acting so high and mighty. Have you ever run a business? You just collect a steady paycheck. That steady paycheck is what pays the mortgage on this condo, gives you an allowance, and runs this household. You know as well as I do that Ethan doesn't contribute a single penny to our living expenses. At Chloe's factual assault, Sharon's face turned red, and she stammered. That's just because Ethan is planning his own venture. Anyway, if you act this cold-hearted, how are you going to face Ethan when he gets back? I don't plan on seeing him. I've reached my limit. And Sharon, if you don't want to be treated this way, please leave my home. I need a rest today. Chloe coldly pointed toward the front door. Seething with anger, Sharon snatched her bags. You mark my words, I will never forget this. Just wait until Ethan gets back. There will be hell to pay. The sound of the front doors slamming shut echoed through the hallway. Alone in the living room, Chloe smiled faintly and opened the notes app on her phone. Mother-in-law visit. Refused to co-sign for sister-in-law. Conflict initiated. Watching Sharon's retreating back through the window, Chloe made a vow. The years of quiet endurance were over. The real war, the one where she would make her husband and his family pay for their infidelity and abuse, was just beginning. 2 days after Sharon's dramatic exit, she reappeared. This time, she didn't call, simply punching in the security code and letting herself in. Chloe, reviewing a Q3 financial report at the dining table, jumped in shock. Sharon, you didn't even call. How could you just come in? It's my son's house. I can come whenever I want. Do I need your permission? Skip the pleasantries. That's not what's important right now. Sharon kicked off her shoes and stormed over to the table. She pulled a thick manila envelope from her bag and slapped it down in front of Chloe. Chloe ignored the envelope, her gaze fixed on Sharon's flushed, angry face. Have a seat. Can I get you some tea? Tea? Chloe, I've been thinking. I need you to lend us your name. We're family. You can do this much for us. Can't you? Sharon crossed her arms, a look on her face as if she were bestowing a great honor. Chloe slowly picked up the envelope. Lend you my name? What for? What does it matter? Jessica needs it for her business, so just cooperate. It's all for the good of the family, isn't it? As Sharon pressed her, Chloe started to open the envelope and pull out the documents. Sharon's hand shot out and pressed down on them. You don't need to look. Just sign where the sticky note is on the last page. What would you know reading all that complicated stuff anyway? Sharon, do I look like someone who doesn't know anything? My job is to review documents exactly like these. Don't ask me to sign something without knowing what it is. Sharon flinched at Chloe's icy glare and removed her hand. Chloe pulled out the papers, and what she saw was ludicrous. Each page had a yellow sticky note, but the most crucial parts, the loan amount and interest rate, were left blank. The amounts are blank. This is basically a blank check. What is this for? That'll be decided later at the bank. We need your signature first to get the process started. Jessica is about to go bankrupt, and you're going to haggle over numbers. Sharon shouted, slamming her fist on the table. Chloe calmly flipped to the next page. Sharon, this is a personal guarantee agreement, and you've even mixed in a blanket mortgage document. This would put a lien on my property. So what? Is it such a big deal? Jessica will just pay it back once she starts making money. It is a very big deal. You're asking me to stake my entire life on a debt of an unknown amount. Do you think I'm a fool? What is the exact state of Jessica's business? How much debt does she have that you need to drag my name into this? At Chloe's sharp, point-by-point questioning, Sharon's face twisted in fury. I can't believe this. You're being this stingy with family? You're a senior analyst at a big corporation, aren't you? You can easily cover that amount with your salary. Chloe let out a laugh at the absurdity. Seeing her laugh, Sharon grew even more aggressive. My salary? Sharon, my gross monthly salary is $7,500. After taxes and insurance, what I take home is much less. Do you think that's pocket change to me? But you have this expensive condo in your name. If you use that as collateral, Jessica can get back on her feet in no time. This condo already has a $230,000 mortgage on it. It's my asset, which I've been paying off with my own blood and sweat for the last 10 years. My husband uses sales as an excuse to not contribute a dime to our living expenses, and now I'm supposed to take on my in-laws' debt too? That's between you and your husband. When your mother-in-law asks for this much, you should at least pretend to listen. Sharon shot up, pointing a finger at her. Chloe pushed the documents, now back in the envelope, towards Sharon. Absolutely not. You can't have a single letter of my signature. Sharon, please leave now. Are you trying to pick a fight with me? I'm calling Ethan right now. Do you think your husband will let you get away with this? Sharon's hand trembled as she pulled out her phone and called Ethan, putting him on speaker. The ringing filled the living room. After 2 tries, Ethan finally answered. Mom, what is it now? I told you, I'm busy. Ethan, you need to get on a plane and fly back here right now. Your wife has completely lost her mind. I asked her to help your sister, and she's treating me like a stranger and trying to kick me out. Sharon shrieked into the phone. But Ethan's reaction was unexpected. Mom, please, just stop. I told you before, don't touch Chloe's assets. I'm in the middle of a project overseas. I don't have time for this. Don't call me about things like this. Ethan Parker, are you taking your wife's side? Your sister is about to lose everything. It's not about taking sides, Mom. What you're doing is irrational. My credit is shot, so why would we use Chloe's? I have to go to a meeting. I'm hanging up. The line went dead, and a heavy silence fell over the room. Sharon stared at her phone in disbelief, then turned her fury on Chloe. What did you do? What have you done to my Ethan? My son was never like this. You've been manipulating him behind my back. Your son has always been selfish, Sharon. He avoids anything that might cause him trouble. You just don't know your own son very well. And Jessica's failure is because of her own incompetence, not my responsibility. You cold-hearted witch. You have no blood in your veins. You just watch. I won't let this go. Sharon snatched the envelope and stormed to the door. The house shuddered as she slammed it shut on her way out. Finally, the tension left Chloe's body, and she sank onto the sofa. Just then, her phone buzzed. It was a text from her sister-in-law, Jessica. I can't believe you, Chloe. I heard everything from Mom. We're family, and you can't even co-sign a loan for me. Letting it get to this point? Are you even human? Chloe smiled coldly and typed back a reply. Jessica, if you feel so wronged, send me your business plan and your financial statements for the last 3 years. I'll review them, and if I see any profitability, I'll consider investing personally. If you don't have the confidence for that, don't contact me again. There was no reply. Chloe tossed her phone aside and closed her eyes. Her in-laws had shown their true colors. She sensed that her time had come as well. On the 4th day of Ethan's business trip, Chloe took a half-day off from work. Outwardly, she seemed as composed as ever, but inside, her mind was the calm before a storm. Spreading her laptop on the living room table, the first number she dialed was the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's helpline. She needed to legally confirm the full implications of those hideous documents her mother-in-law had shoved at her. Hello, I'd like to ask about co-signing a loan. If the other party asks for a signature while the loan amount is left blank, what are the risks? Chloe explained the situation calmly. The voice of the agent on the other end was more serious than she had expected. Ma'am, that is what we call a blank check guarantee. It means that whatever amount the debtor writes in later, the guarantor is fully responsible for it. You should never, ever agree to such a request, especially among family members. It's an extremely dangerous contract that could lead to liens being placed on all of the guarantor's assets. Listening to the agent's warning, Chloe jotted down notes. Co-signing a loan wasn't just about lending money. It was about mortgaging your entire life to someone else's failure. As soon as she hung up, Chloe called her primary bank's mortgage specialist. I'd like to confirm the maximum amount of a home equity line of credit I can currently take out on my condo. One moment. Ma'am. I've confirmed your name and address. You currently have a $230,000 mortgage. The market value has increased quite a bit, so you can easily get an additional $75,000. By the way, ma'am, did you happen to inquire about this about a month ago? There's a record of an inquiry into a HELOC on your property from a different branch. Chloe felt her breath catch in her throat. A month ago? That was when Ethan had shown up after work with a bouquet of flowers, laying it on thick about how hard she'd been working. Can you tell me who made the inquiry? It wasn't me. Due to privacy policies, I can't give you the exact name, but it appears an authorized representative with knowledge of your online banking credentials or security answers conducted the inquiry over the phone. It's highly likely it was your spouse. Chloe's hand was trembling slightly as she hung up. Ethan Parker. That man had been planning to stab her in the back long before he left for his trip. With a shaky hand, Chloe opened her laptop and logged into her husband's personal cloud and messaging accounts. Ethan still hadn't changed the password they had shared long ago. In the search bar, she typed a combination of Jessica and loan. Pandora's box swung open, and the ugly truths came pouring out. The first thing that caught her eye was a message from her mother-in-law, Sharon. Ethan, Jessica won't be able to make her payment this month, and then it's really over. Did you get a copy of the deed to Chloe's condo? If you sell that place, you can save Jessica's business and have plenty of startup capital for yourself. Keep it a secret from Chloe and get a loan consultation first. Who cares if it's in your wife's name? You're the husband. You're practically the owner. Chloe felt dizzy. Her mother-in-law saw her home as nothing more than seed money for her daughter's business. Even more appalling was her husband's reply. Mom, I can't find where Chloe hid the key to the file cabinet. I'll tell her I'm going on this business trip, and while the house is empty, I'll call a locksmith and get it open. Tell Jessica to hang on a little longer. Chloe, with her personality, will never agree to this willingly, so I'll have to push her hard this time and make her sign. Chloe let out a bitter laugh. Her husband, supposedly on a business trip, was conspiring with his family to steal his own wife's assets. The messages from her sister-in-law, Jessica, were openly mocking. Ethan, Chloe works at a big company and makes good money. What's the big deal about lending us a measly $75,000? You're so frustrating. You should have just gotten her fingerprint on the papers while she was sleeping. Mom went to a psychic who said my business is going to be a huge hit. Just persuade her this one time. Do you want to see Mom end up on the street if I go bankrupt? With every message she read, Chloe's heart turned to ice. Her mother-in-law's credit was already maxed out with credit card debt and payday loans, and her husband, Ethan, had a rock-bottom credit score after losing money on stocks he'd hidden from her. In the end, the only valuable asset in this family was the condo Chloe had worked her fingers to the bone to protect for 10 years. Chloe opened a notebook and began to coolly tally the numbers. Current condo market value, $500,000. My mortgage, $230,000. If I add the $75,000 Jessica is demanding, my debt becomes $305,000. My monthly payment would jump to over $2,500. After property taxes and HOA fees, I'd have less than $1,000 left in my hands. Chloe threw down her pen. To live on $1,000 a month, unable to buy groceries, help her parents with medical bills, or even buy a new set of clothes, all while paying off her sister-in-law's debt for the rest of her life. The audacity of her in-laws, expecting her to patch up her sister-in-law's incompetence with her own survival, filled her with a simmering rage. Chloe immediately gathered all her financial documents, her salary deposit account, her 401k, and everything related to the condo deed, and headed to the bank. I'd like to place a block on all third-party loan applications and credit inquiries under my name. And if any application for a home equity loan comes in, I want to be notified immediately and exclusively on my personal cell phone. As soon as she left the bank, her phone buzzed violently. It was Jessica. Chloe answered coldly. Hello, Chloe. Did you read my text? Why haven't you answered? Are you trying to torture me? Mom told me you said absolutely not to the loan. How could you do this to us? Jessica's voice was brazen and entitled, with not a hint of apology. Jessica, I told you clearly. Bring me your business plan and financial statements. Is it sane to ask me to put my house up as collateral without even seeing those? And I know you and Ethan conspired to steal my documents. Do you know that's a crime? What crime? It's our duty to help each other as family. You work for a big corporation, you have good credit and plenty of money. You can live without that $75,000. If I go bankrupt, are you going to take care of our mother? Taking care of your mother is the job of her son, Ethan, and her daughter, you. Why should I? And do you have any idea what $75,000 means to me? Do you know what I've had to endure for 10 years to earn that money? Oh, whatever. Just you wait until Ethan gets back. He won't let you get away with this. Someone who treats family like strangers doesn't deserve to be a wife in our family. Jessica spat out her words and hung up. Chloe was so dumbfounded she let out a laugh. Don't deserve to be a wife? The twisted logic that she was unqualified if she didn't serve as their personal bank solidified her resolve. This family was finished. Immediately, texts from her mother-in-law started pouring in. Chloe, you are truly heartless. How can a human being be worse than a stranger when her sister-in-law's life is on the line? You'll be cursed if you think you can live well all by yourself in that house. I've told Ethan everything, so get those loan documents ready. We're going to the bank tomorrow morning. Instead of replying, Chloe took screenshots of the text conversations between her mother-in-law, her husband, and her sister-in-law and posted them in a group chat. Then she added one final, cold message. Sharon and Jessica, don't even dream of getting a loan against my house. I've already taken every possible measure at the bank. And if you ever try to touch my documents or bring up the co-signing issue again, I will sue you for coercion and attempted theft. And, Ethan Parker, you report your business trip location to me right now. If I don't get your hotel reservation confirmation and a photo from the airport in the next 10 minutes, I will end you in my own way. The chat room fell silent. The read receipts appeared, but no one replied. Chloe put down her phone and looked out the window with a chilling smile. If her in-laws had viewed her as a limitless ATM, it was time to show them how that machine could now tighten the noose around their necks. Trust me, because we're family? That family tried to stab me in the back. Why should I show them any mercy? You started this war. I will end it, and it will be brutal. Chloe pulled a business card from deep within her desk drawer, the card of a lawyer friend. The defense was over. It was time to launch the attack that would suffocate her husband and his family. Her eyes glinted, sharper and harder than ever before. A week passed since Chloe declared war on her in-laws. She went to work as usual, reviewing reports. But shortly after 2 p.m., the buzz of her phone shattered the quiet, a credit card alert lighting up the screen. Foreign transaction approved. $418. Restaurant payment. Chloe narrowed her eyes at the notification. It was the joint family card that Ethan used. It was issued under both their names, but alerts were set to come to her phone. The location, however, was strange. Las Vegas? Not London? Chloe double-checked the last text Ethan had sent her a week ago. It had clearly stated, landed in London. Meetings are back-to-back, so I'll be busy. Chloe smiled wryly, opening her laptop to analyze her husband's spending patterns. She pulled up an Excel file she had created 3 years ago, when her suspicions of his infidelity first arose. 3 years ago. 2 p.m. Restaurant. 3 p.m. Hotel bar. 5 p.m. Luxury boutique. Location. Always. Las Vegas. To her astonishment, today's alerts were a chillingly perfect match to the pattern from 3 years ago. 30 minutes later, as expected, an alert for a $520 hotel bar charge came through, followed by a text that $890 had been spent at a Gucci store. For my birthday, he tosses me a cheap $30 scarf, but he buys her a $900 handbag. Suppressing a surge of fury, Chloe called her husband. The phone rang and rang, but Ethan didn't pick up. She left a text, and 30 minutes later, a shameless reply came back. In a meeting, international roaming is expensive. Let's talk later. Really busy. So busy you have time to shop at a luxury boutique? You're in Las Vegas right now, aren't you? I'm looking at all the card statements. There was no reply to her text for a long time. About 10 minutes later, a frantic call came from Ethan Parker. Chloe let it ring more than 5 times before answering coldly. Honey, it's a misunderstanding. I can explain. Explain it. Then, you said you were in London. So why are you swiping a card near the Bellagio in Las Vegas? Don't even try the "my schedule changed" lie. You were there 3 years ago, too. Ethan stammered, flustered. Ah, well, a client meeting was suddenly moved to Vegas. It was so hectic, I didn't get a chance to tell you. Really? A client meeting? You have client meetings at a Gucci store? Buying an $890 handbag? And is drinking at a hotel bar? In the middle of the day part of your job description? You have that woman with you right now, don't you? Chloe, why are you being so sensitive? I'm here working my butt off. And this is what I have to listen to. I'm so tired right now. I'm hanging up. Ethan hung up the phone as if fleeing. Chloe gripped her phone tightly, her knuckles turning white. But she didn't cry. Stronger than the feeling of betrayal was the feeling of confirmation. Chloe immediately created a new folder on her laptop titled Divorce Prep. And with the cool, methodical precision of a 15-year veteran of corporate finance, she began to draft a list of assets for division. Condo market value, $500,000. Mortgage, $230,000. Net asset, $270,000. Sole title in my name, paid off by me for 10 years. My contribution, 90% plus. Husband's car. Auto loan was paid from my account. Need to gather statements. Appliances and furniture. All purchased with my credit cards. Chloe's fingers danced across the keyboard. All the while, her phone continued to ring incessantly. This time, it was her mother-in-law. Chloe, are you out of your mind? Ethan just called me from his trip, crying. He said he's so scared of his wife, he can't even work. Who do you think you are? Interrogating your husband about his credit card spending. Sharon, your son lied about being in London. He's in Las Vegas with another woman, shopping for luxury goods. Did you know that? What? Las Vegas? What does that matter? A man might do things like that for business. And so, what if he bought something nice? What else are you earning money for? It's all for the family. You apologize to Ethan right now. Chloe laughed, a hollow, empty sound at Sharon's audacity. The people in this family were truly beyond help. Your son is the one who should be apologizing. And Sharon, the card Ethan used is linked to my salary account. Am I supposed to pay for my husband's flings with other women? How dare you talk back to me? It's a wife's duty to support her husband's morale. If you keep this up, I won't just stand by. Chloe hung up without another word. She went to the hotel's website and cross-referenced the charge on her statement. A sweet package, including breakfast for two. Chloe took a screenshot and saved it in her evidence folder. The night deepened, but Chloe's mind was clearer than ever. She opened her calendar and drew a red circle around tomorrow's date. The words she wrote, lawyer consultation, were penned with a steady hand. You all saw my patience as a blank check. Now, I'll show you what kind of hell unfolds when that check bounces. Reconciliation, forgiveness. Those words only exist in your world. In my world, there is only judgment. As a final step, Chloe added an old photo of Ethan and his mistress sitting intimately at a hotel lounge to her evidence file and took a deep breath. The curtain was rising on a long and brutal revenge. The next morning, Chloe left the office at exactly 9 a.m. She had taken a half-day off, but her heart felt lighter than ever. Her appointment with the lawyer was at 10. She drove toward the legal district, befitting a 15-year finance professional. The passenger seat was neatly stacked with perfectly organized files she had prepared overnight. A sharp-looking lawyer greeted her at the entrance to the law office. In the heavy atmosphere of the consultation room, Chloe took a thick file from her bag and placed it firmly on the desk. You must be Chloe Parker. It looks like you prepared quite a lot. Is this all evidence? The lawyer asked, flipping through the file. Chloe nodded, her posture impeccable. Yes, it's 3 years' worth of my husband's credit card statements, a comparative analysis of his suspected affair period and this recent Las Vegas trip, and screenshots of text messages with his family. At the very back, I've included a breakdown of our current marital assets that I calculated myself. With each page he turned, the lawyer's eyebrows rose higher. The Excel spreadsheets and supporting documents, infused with 15 years of financial expertise, were so perfect that there was little for the lawyer to add. You've organized this with frightening precision. Most clients who come for a divorce consultation are so emotional that their evidence is a mess. But you've already done most of my job for me. With this, winning is a given, and you'll have a very advantageous position in the asset division. Fighting with emotion is a losing battle. I have no intention of letting them take a single cent of the money I work to protect, Chloe replied calmly. The consultation was specific and swift. The lawyer outlined the expected asset division ratio and the potential alimony she could claim, confirming that the case was strongly in her favor. After leaving the office, Chloe checked her phone in her car. 15 missed calls. 8 from her mother-in-law, Sharon. 5 from her sister-in-law, Jessica, and 2 from her husband, Ethan. A bitter smile played on her lips. Shall we really get started now? Chloe connected to a mobile hotspot, opened her laptop, and logged into her online banking portal. The first task was to revoke all authorizations and cancel automatic payments. Her mother-in-law's cell phone bill, health insurance premiums, and even her apartment maintenance fees were all being automatically charged to Chloe's card. I can't believe I've been cleaning up after this old woman for the past 3 years. Chloe clicked the mouse without mercy. A series of pop-up windows confirmed automatic payment canceled. Next were her sister-in-law Jessica's loan interest payments and her credit card and internet bills. These, too, had been draining from Chloe's emergency savings account for 2 years. Chloe hit the cancel button without hesitation. In 10 minutes, every financial lifeline her in-laws had to her was severed. Immediately after, Chloe started calling the customer service centers of each bank. Hello, Bank of America? I'd like to apply for the Identity Theft Protection Service on all my accounts. From now on, I want to block any loan or guarantee processes from proceeding without my physical presence. Starting with Bank of America, Chloe moved on to Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citibank, building an impenetrable financial wall. Now, even if her mother-in-law managed to steal her ID or her husband stole her documents, they wouldn't be able to borrow a single dollar without her consent. In 15 minutes, all of her in-laws' grimy hands were completely blocked. Finally, Chloe logged into her insurance provider's website. The beneficiary of her life insurance was still listed as Ethan Parker. So, you can live in luxury with your mistress on my death benefit? In your dreams? Chloe immediately changed the beneficiary to her own mother. She also called the auto financing company and canceled the automatic payments for her husband's car, which had been coming out of her account despite the car being in his name. When all the procedures were complete, the word "done" was written clearly in her notebook. Just then, her phone, which she had set to Do Not Disturb, began to ring insistently. It was her mother-in-law, Sharon. Chloe didn't answer. Soon, a frantic text from Jessica arrived. Chloe, I just got a text from the credit card company about a failed payment. The loan interest didn't go through either. What's going on? Please check it quickly. Chloe read the text and didn't reply. Then, a call came through to her office's main line. A colleague transferred the call, and her mother-in-law's shriek erupted from the receiver. Chloe, are you out of your mind? Why did you make it so my card payment didn't go through? I'm getting texts about late fees because of you. I canceled it, Sharon. Why should your bills be paid from my account? From now on, you are responsible for your own life. What? Are you playing games with your mother-in-law? Reconnect it right now. If you don't, I'll come down to your office and make a scene. Go ahead. I've already notified building security. If you show up without permission, they've been instructed to call the police for trespassing. And Sharon, I'm busy right now, so I'm hanging up. Chloe hung up the phone coldly. She blocked every number from her in-laws that tried to come through the office line. 5 minutes later, a shrieking call came from her sister-in-law, Jessica. This time, Chloe answered herself. Chloe, are you crazy? I told you my loan interest didn't get paid. I'm going to get a black mark on my credit report if you don't deposit the money right now. That's your problem, Jessica, not mine. It's your business. Your debt. Why are you taking it out on me? You pay off the debts in your name, and I've already filed for identity theft protection. Your little trick of trying to steal my documents to get a loan won't work anymore. How can family be like this? You're truly heartless. You have no blood in your veins. Ethan won't let you get away with this. Ethan? He's probably too busy with another woman in Las Vegas to do anything to me. Wake up, Jessica. Your family's money train has made its final stop. Chloe put her phone deep inside her desk drawer and focused on her work again. After work, back in her home, she sipped a cold coffee while looking out the window. It was clear that her in-laws, because of the 15 minutes she had spent systematically cutting them off, would now face a chain reaction of financial ruin. I didn't take your money. I just took back my life, which you were all stealing. A cold smile spread across Chloe's lips. The thought of them trembling and raging over late payment notices was deeply satisfying. All that was left was to give her husband, Ethan, the most spectacular ruin upon his return from Las Vegas. 3 days later, Chloe was working with focus in a state of calm before the storm. Shortly after noon, a call came from an unknown number. Normally, she would have ignored it, but a bad feeling made her answer. Hello. Chloe Parker speaking. Ah, Miss Parker? This is Kevin Kim from the Loan Review Department at Future Financial. The moment she heard his title, Chloe put down her pen and leaned back in her chair. The moment had arrived. She hardened her voice. Yes, how can I help you? I'm calling about your sister-in-law, Miss Jessica Parker. We've received documents to register your condo as additional collateral and list you as a co-signer on her loan. Did you consent to this? Absolutely not. I have not consented for even a second, and I have no intention of ever doing so. Please reject the application immediately. I should already have an identity theft alert on my file. Did you not check? There was a moment of hesitation on the other end. Ah, yes. We did confirm the alert on your file in our system. However, Miss Parker was so insistent, claiming that her sister-in-law would be here any minute, that we called to verify. I understand. My decision is final. Please process the rejection immediately. After the call ended, Chloe smiled faintly and recorded the conversation in her planner. It was a sign that Jessica had already started resorting to high-interest, predatory lenders. Around 3 p.m., texts from Jessica began flooding in from a number Chloe hadn't blocked. Chloe, the finance company called. Please, just help me this one time. If this doesn't go through, I'm really going to be out on the street. My creditors are coming to my office every day, threatening to kill me. Chloe deleted the message without a flicker of emotion. 10 minutes later, a more desperate text arrived. Chloe, I'm really scared. There are big guys hanging around outside my apartment. This could all be solved if you just signed. Why are you trying to kill your own family? Please. Chloe deleted that one too, without a second thought. Just before leaving work, a courier arrived at the main entrance. The sender was Sharon. Inside the box was a container of rice cakes that Chloe used to like, along with a letter written in a shaky hand. Chloe, it was all my fault. I only listened to Jessica and was too hard on you. I'm sorry. Please, just answer my call. We can't be like this. We're family. Chloe read the hypocritical letter and immediately tore it into pieces, throwing it in the trash. The audacity of them to invoke family and mother now made her want to vomit. The next morning, as Chloe was getting ready for work, her doorbell rang frantically. On the video intercom screen were a disheveled Sharon and a puffy-eyed Jessica. Instead of opening the door, Chloe responded coldly through the speaker. What do you want at this hour, without an appointment? I have to get to work, so please leave. Chloe, open the door. I'm begging you. Let's just talk. Sharon's voice, stripped of its former arrogance, trembled with desperation. There's nothing to talk about. I received your letter, and my answer is still no. Chloe, please. I'm desperate. If I don't make a payment by this afternoon, they're going to foreclose on my apartment. Jessica shrieked at the intercom, but Chloe hammered the final nail in the coffin. Whether they foreclose or not is a consequence of your business decisions. What does that have to do with me? Please leave. If you continue to cause a disturbance, I will call the police for trespassing. Chloe turned off the intercom. The banging and yelling outside continued for another 10 minutes, but Chloe calmly poured herself another cup of coffee. A few moments later, she saw the two of them getting into a taxi, defeated. During her lunch break, another call came from an unknown number. It was her sister-in-law again. The lender just issued a final rejection. They said without additional collateral, I have to repay the entire loan immediately. I got a demand letter. I need you to sign. Please. I believe I've told you hundreds of times. The answer is no. Jessica, do you even know what co-signing means? If you can't pay, I lose this entire condo that I've worked my whole life for. Why would I do something so insane? Because I won't fail. I'll pay it back when I succeed. The bank is asking for more collateral because it's obvious you're going to fail. Your business is already over, Jessica. Face it and look into filing for bankruptcy. At Chloe's sharp retort, Jessica finally burst into tears. You're killing me. Our whole family is being ruined because of you. No, your deluded ambition, your mother who encouraged it, and your incompetent brother ruined this family. Don't blame me. As soon as she hung up, an international call came from Ethan in Las Vegas. Honey, Mom called me. The family is in chaos because of Jessica's situation. Why are you being so stubborn? We're family. Can't you be a little more flexible? Flexible? Ethan Parker, are you in your right mind? While you're in Las Vegas buying $900 handbags for your mistress, I'm supposed to sacrifice my life for your sister's mountain of debt? You think I'm being selfish? What's your excuse for carrying on an affair while not contributing a single cent to our living expenses? I told you, that's a misunderstanding. Let's just solve Jessica's problem first, and we can talk when I get back. You solve it. You said you were there for business, right? Then sell a kidney to help your sister. Don't rely on me. And I've sent the divorce papers through my lawyer, so I'll see you in court as soon as you get back to the U.S. Chloe ended the call without a second thought and removed the battery from her phone. That evening, when she returned home from work, Sharon and Jessica were sitting slumped in front of her door. Chloe, should I get on my knees? Please. Just save Jessica. The creditors came to the house and put seizure notices on all the furniture. It's chaos. Sharon grabbed onto Chloe's pants, pleading. Chloe coldly shook her hand off and took a step back. You want my help because we're family? When I was paying off the mortgage by myself for 10 years, did you ever contribute a dime? Every time we had your relatives over, you treated me like a maid, saying how tiring it was to have a daughter-in-law. You knew your son was cheating on me for the last 3 years, and you hid it from me. Is that what you call family? At Chloe's furious accusation, Sharon's face went white, and she was speechless. And Jessica, you listened carefully too. I have all the evidence of you planning to steal my identity for months, the credit inquiries, the text messages. If you show up at my door one more time, I will report you to the police for harassment and stalking. Chloe pushed past the two of them, went inside, and slammed the door. She could hear Sharon's wails and Jessica's screams from outside, but she simply turned on some classical music. Looking down from her window, she saw Sharon slapping her daughter's cheek, screaming, "This is all your fault," while Jessica shrieked back, "You're the one who told me to do it," as they looked ready to tear each other's hair out. Finally, they're starting to eat each other alive. Chloe smiled coldly and recorded the day's events. The downfall of her in-laws was being completed not by her hand, but by their own insatiable greed. A week later, on a Saturday morning, Chloe was organizing a pile of documents at her dining table, additional evidence for her divorce lawyer. As she was sorting, the doorbell rang loudly and repeatedly, as if someone were taking out their anger on it. Chloe frowned and checked the intercom. As expected, it was Sharon and Jessica. "Chloe, I know you're in there. Open this door right now," Sharon yelled, banging on the door. Chloe watched their tantrum in silence. "If you don't open up, we'll make a scene here all night. I'll tell all your neighbors what a vicious witch you are," Jessica threatened. As the noise in the hallway grew, Chloe sighed and opened the door. The moment it opened, Sharon and Jessica pushed past her without a greeting. "Come in. If you have something to say, please sit down." Chloe gestured to the living room sofa. The two sat down, seething, and Chloe sat in a chair opposite them, meeting their gaze. "What brings you here again? What do you think? Our entire family is about to be destroyed because of you." Sharon slammed her hand on the glass coffee table. Chloe didn't even blink. "Because of me? What did I do to ruin your family? If you had just co-signed the loan, Jessica's business wouldn't have come to this. The creditors are starting legal action now, and you can sleep at night." "Sharon, Jessica's business failed because it was poorly managed from the start. It has absolutely nothing to do with me." At Chloe's calm tone, Jessica shot up and pointed a finger. "Nothing to do with you? If you had helped me, I wouldn't be in this humiliating position. You set out to destroy our family, didn't you?" "Jessica, you didn't fail because I didn't help you. You failed because you lacked the ability. Face reality." Chloe's words were a cold, hard dose of truth. Jessica's face instantly turned bright red. "What? Are you insulting my ability? Just because you shuffle papers in a finance department, you think you're somebody? The people who look at those papers determined that your business wasn't worth a single dollar of investment. It was trash. The entire profit model was nonsensical." Chloe picked up her tablet and turned it on. Jessica's business plan, which she had submitted to the lender, appeared on the screen. "This is the plan you submitted. I got a copy. You projected monthly revenue of $5,000 against startup costs of $75,000 and fixed monthly costs of $3,500. That leaves a net profit of $1,500. So, what's wrong with that? It's completely unrealistic. The average monthly revenue for your industry is less than $2,000. How are you going to make $5,000? These numbers are practically fraudulent." At Chloe's analysis, Jessica stammered, at a loss for words. Sharon jumped back in, trying to force the issue. "What do those numbers matter? Your family is about to die, and you can't even take that small risk? Not matter? Are you asking me to throw my life into a pit that is guaranteed to collapse? I will never do that." Chloe put down the tablet and stared at them coldly. No one has the right to ruin my life in the name of family. Ruin your life? It's just co-signing a loan, Sharon shrieked. But Chloe just scoffed. Sharon, do you even know what a personal guarantee is? If Jessica can't pay it back, I have to cover the $75,000 plus all the interest. My take-home pay after my mortgage and living expenses is about $1,500 a month. At that rate, it would take me over 5 years of doing nothing but working and breathing to pay off that debt. Why should I spend 5 years of my youth cleaning up Jessica's failure? Chloe's logical rebuttal left Sharon and Jessica speechless for a moment. But Jessica soon burst into tears, screaming, "Chloe, I seriously want to die. The creditors call me every day and come to my house and harass me. Don't you have any heart? That is the debt you have to bear, Jessica. Don't try to push it onto me. You've already exhausted your mother's credit and Ethan's. To covet my life as your last resort is crossing a line." Chloe stood up decisively and opened the front door wide. "Now, please leave. There is nothing more to discuss." "Chloe, please. Can't you just think about it one more time?" Sharon pleaded. But Chloe's expression was like ice. "Leave? If you don't, I will call the police immediately for trespassing." At Chloe's sharp warning, Sharon hesitated before slowly getting up. Jessica stormed out, fuming. "You're going to regret this. I will never forget this humiliation," she screamed from the hallway. As she closed the door, Chloe tossed one last cold remark. "You're the one who will have regrets, Jessica. You'll lose everything by holding on until the very end." The door slammed shut. Chloe leaned against it, taking a deep breath. She could faintly hear Sharon and Jessica outside, blaming each other. "This is all your fault, Mom. You should have sweet-talked her properly from the start. It's because you ran your business so poorly. Who are you trying to blame?" As their voices faded, Chloe took out her phone and meticulously recorded the day's events. Then, she sent a text to her lawyer. "Let's proceed with the divorce filing immediately. I'll see you on Monday." The reply came quickly. Chloe marked the appointment time on her calendar with a cold smile. Her in-laws had no cards left to play. Everything was proceeding according to her plan, toward their perfect destruction. 2 weeks later, on a Monday morning, Chloe was sitting in her lawyer's office. The lawyer reviewed the final supplementary documents she had submitted, nodding in admiration. The meticulousness of a 15-year finance veteran shone through even in her divorce preparations. "You've prepared this perfectly. From the mistress's personal information to the Las Vegas statements and the evidence of your in-laws' attempted identity theft, there will be no problem proceeding with the lawsuit. You're not only guaranteed to win, but you've secured an overwhelmingly advantageous position for alimony and asset division. So, when would be the best time to officially start?" Chloe asked calmly. The lawyer opened a calendar on his desk. "You mentioned your spouse returns next week, correct? We could have him served with the papers at home the day he gets back from the airport. But for your safety, it would be better to file a week after his return. It gives him time to pack his things." "Understood. Let's proceed as you've advised." Chloe noted the lawyer's advice and stood up. As she was leaving the office, her phone rang loudly. It was an unfamiliar number, but she had a feeling she should answer. "Hello? Is this Chloe Parker? This is the enforcement office of the D.C. Superior Court. We're reviewing the creditor list related to Miss Jessica Parker and are calling to confirm if there are any other debts or co-signing relationships under your name." "No, there are none. I've had no financial dealings with her, and I have an identity theft alert on my file. Any document with my name on it is a forgery." "Understood. We needed to confirm as the seizure of assets at Miss Parker's business and residence began this morning. Thank you for your cooperation." Hanging up, a cold smile touched Chloe's lips. Jessica's deluded ambition had finally met its miserable end in bankruptcy. Around 2 p.m., a message popped up on her work instant messenger from a colleague in the admin department. "Miss Parker, a woman named Jessica Parker, keeps calling for you. She's crying and says it's an emergency. Should I transfer her?" Chloe replied without a moment's hesitation. "Please inform her that I am not taking personal calls during work hours, and warn her that if she continues to call, she will be reported for workplace harassment." When she returned home from work, a courier box from Jessica was sitting in front of her door. Inside was a pile of torn documents and a letter filled with venom. "Chloe, I'm really ruined. They put seizure notices all over my business today. Now they're coming for my apartment. This wouldn't have happened if you had just signed once. This is all your fault. Do you want to see someone die? This is all because of you. Chloe laughed out loud as she read the letter. The pathetic sight of people who tried to use another's life as collateral now blaming someone else was laughable. She tore the letter to shreds and threw it away. That night, a barrage of texts from her mother-in-law, Sharon, began. Chloe, Jessica is completely ruined and is about to be thrown out on the street. This is all because you were so heartless. Her apartment has been seized. Are you even human? When Ethan gets back, I'm going to tell him everything. That you destroyed our family. Chloe read the text and blocked the number without replying. The next morning, a call came from Sharon from yet another number. Chloe finally answered. Hello. Chloe, how can you sleep at night? Jessica's apartment is gone. You need to take out a loan against your condo and help her pay off some of the debt. That's the only way to lift the seizure. To Sharon's screaming plea, Chloe replied in a voice as cold as ice. Don't be mistaken, Sharon. Jessica created that debt, and Jessica is responsible for it. And yesterday, I retained a lawyer and finished preparing the divorce petition. I've submitted all the evidence of the affair and my financial contributions to our assets. What? Divorce? Are you out of your mind? Do you think divorce is a joke? It's not a joke. It's me taking my life back. Ethan will see you in court when he returns. That's all. Sharon gasped and shrieked into the phone. But Chloe mercilessly ended the call. Immediately, a frantic text came from Ethan in Las Vegas. Chloe, I heard from Mom. Divorce? Why so suddenly? If I did something wrong, let's talk when I get back. It's not sudden. You think I didn't know about you shopping at Gucci with that woman in Las Vegas, staying in a hotel suite, and carrying on this filthy relationship for the last 3 years? When you get back, just pack your things and get out. Only contact me through my lawyer. Ethan's calls came one after another. But Chloe put her phone in a drawer and focused solely on her work until she left for the day. No amount of noise could break her peace. Finally, on the day of Ethan's return, Chloe waited for him on the sofa of her home. The security code now changed. When Ethan finally managed to get inside, he collapsed to his knees in front of her, looking haggard. Chloe, I'm sorry. I must have been crazy. Can't you just forgive me one more time? I'll end everything. And it's too late. After finding out how you and your family plan to use my life, do you think I could ever see you as my husband again? I'll give you 1 week. Get all your things out of this house. Chloe, we've been married for 10 years. And for those 10 years, I paid the mortgage by myself and took care of your family while you were playing around with another woman. Is that what you call 10 years of loyalty? I don't want to talk to you anymore. Get out. Chloe went into the master bedroom and locked the door. Outside, Ethan banged on the door, sobbing, but Chloe just opened her laptop and checked her email from the lawyer. Petition filed. Everything was falling into place, quietly but fatally, just as she had scripted. A week later, Ethan finally left the house with a few large suitcases. Outside, Sharon and Jessica were waiting for him, looking gaunt. The three of them began to fight in the hallway, blaming each other. This is all because you had an affair, isn't it? Our Jessica is about to die because of you. Sharon cried, hitting Ethan on the back. It's because you're so incompetent that she looked down on you. Jessica screamed. Chloe watched from her living room window as they got into a taxi and disappeared. She felt the knot of resentment that had been tightening in her chest for 10 years finally dissolve. You are the ones who are broken. I didn't retreat a single step. Chloe threw open the living room curtains. Blinding sunlight poured in, filling the empty space. The room, now free from the shackles of her in-laws and the shell of a husband, was hers and hers alone. She sipped a cup of warm tea and opened the Notes app on her phone. She typed the word "done" on the last line and hit save. True freedom. For the first time in 10 years, a smile, stronger and more beautiful than ever before, spread across Chloe's face. The real life of Chloe Parker was just beginning. Reflecting on this story, the most shocking part is that the weapons wielded by the abusers were the very people who were supposed to be family. For 10 long years, they treated Chloe as an ATM and an emotional dumping ground, viewing her patients not as a kindness but as their right. The calculated plan to use her home as collateral for her sister-in-law's business, in particular, reveals just how grotesque human greed can become when it crosses a line. Ultimately, the biggest lesson from this narrative is that you are the one who must draw the line to protect yourself. Just as the seemingly impenetrable pressure from her in-laws crumbled like a sandcastle the moment Chloe analyzed the situation with cold, hard numbers and took legal action. Even if the other party is family, you must never surrender your own life's safety net. Staying silent in the face of unreasonable demands is not consideration. It's enablement. I sincerely cheer for Chloe's new beginning, as she finally sets down her heavy burden and stands in her own sunlight. True revenge, after all, is living your own life more happily and more confidently than they ever could.